All right, so rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL draft for tonight. The Raiders had 3 total picks amongst these 2 rounds. They had 1 pick in the second round and 2 back-to-back, actually, in the third. And I think these picks tonight were definitely better in terms of value than last night in the first. So the second round pick for the Raiders, they actually traded up with the San Francisco 49ers to go down. I believe they went from the 48th pick to the 43rd. Which definitely they had a plan in mind. They drafted Trevon Moehrig with the 43rd pick, and people are really commending the Raiders for picking this. I'm very happy about this pick too. This guy is really good. He played at Texas Christian University. He won the Jim Thorpe Award in 2020, which I believe is awarded to the best defensive back, but he can pretty much play in a lot of different places on the field. He was really, really good. They call him kind of like a center fielder in a way because he can really navigate the field well. He's really good. But the trade was the 43rd pick to the Raiders and a 7th round pick for the 48th pick and a 4th round pick. So the Raiders definitely smart trade for them. I'm happy about this. He's a free safety mostly. But for the Horned Frogs, he's been really good in multiple roles. He's very consistent, and I'm glad they got him. Really happy. I think this is the guy they needed. They definitely need help in their secondary. I think we all know that. So, obviously, I think in these next, couple of rounds, these next couple of days, I think we're going to expect to see a lot more defensive guys and maybe a couple offensive linemen just to beef it up. But I think he's good. He's obviously not afraid to be aggressive. He's very, he's good at tackling. He's very athletic. A lot of people were wondering why did he drop so far, because he's very talented and he's won, awards for his play. And he actually did suffer a back injury and had an MRI, which made teams skeptical. But, he says he's okay. I'm going to take his word for it. And I hope he can, stay healthy because, he's considered the best safety in college football, at least for this year, by some. So we'll see. And I think, if I had to give this pick a grade, I give it an A- just because, it's still the second round, but it's definitely very good. So, and then in the third round, let's move on to that. In the third round, the Raiders had picks 79 and 80, obviously acquiring that in a trade. They first drafted with the 79th pick, defensive end Malcolm Koonce, who's been compared a lot to Khalil Mack, who is obviously a former Raider, which is a great comparison because Khalil Mack was a great defensive player, still is, but yeah. So he basically came from Buffalo, and so did Khalil Mack, actually, coincidentally. I think, once again, this is a good pick. The Raiders need their offensive line to be good. They have, obviously, Max Crosby, Cleveland Ferrell, but it should be better. He's very athletic. He played 4 years at Buffalo, so, played out in his entire career in college there. He had 109 tackles, 22 and a half tackles for loss, 17 sacks. He's 249 pounds, 6'2", so, pretty good build for a defensive lineman. He's very athletic. He's known to explode off the line of scrimmage right when the snap happens. He actually earned second-team All-State honors in high school and led the MAC in sacks in 2019. Obviously, he doesn't go to as flashy of a college as other guys. Buffalo is not, a top-tier college football school, but I think he's underrated. I think he's good. So he's, welcome to the silver and black. Good pick for them, I think. And then to conclude the night, the Raiders got this guy, Divine Deablo, and I think he has the best name in the entire draft. Divine Deablo, that's a great name. Virginia Tech, he came from. He was a defensive player. He was the 80th overall pick, so they had back-to-back picks. He's a linebacker slash safety, which is really good because those are two positions the Raiders would love to improve upon. So he had, in his career, he has 206 tackles. 12 and a half of those are tackles for loss. He has 6 interceptions with 11 pass breakups. That's pretty good. Having tackles for loss and having interceptions and breakups is good. He also had 3 forced fumbles, so he's very, a good enough player where he can do all that stuff on the field. He actually used to play wide receiver, so that kind of shows you, his speed. But he transitioned to safety after he was a freshman at VT. And then he started for 3 seasons in college. He entered the NFL with a lot of experience, similar to Koonce, because, you know, they played a lot of time in college, unlike some of the other guys. But, you know, he's still a work in progress, as people are saying. I think he could be good in a couple years. Obviously, being a third-round draft pick, you're not graded as high as other guys. But I think for his value, he's pretty good. Having, you know, 3 defenders today, which is added to the squad, is really good. But I think he's very underrated. I think, you know, time will tell. And yeah, so that's pretty much gonna do it for the second and third round. I think the Raiders picks were pretty good. I think, you know, I don't say they 100% made up for the very controversial, confusing pick they had last night. But I mean, it is what it is. They work with what they did. They made a trade, and got the guy they wanted, and I think the fans wanted. There was some other guys taken off the board that fans wanted them to get, but that's how the draft works, right? So let me know your thoughts on this. Raiders get 3 guys: Divine Deablo with their last pick in this, Malcolm Koonce in the third round 79th pick, and Trevon Moehrig with a 43rd pick in the draft, which they traded up for. So let me know your thoughts on this, and yeah, go Raiders.